For 214, we're looking at titles of people like Mr. and Mrs., that sort of thing. So this is a pretty short, easy lesson. So we're looking at titles that you can use before a person's name. So for example, señor, señora, and señorita. You've already had those in Module 1. There's others that you could say like doctor or doctora, Dr. Salinas, if it was a man, and doctora if it's a girl, if it's a woman. And that is different also than when you're talking directly to a person. It's the same sort of thing. So you can say hello, good morning, Mr. Vega. And when you're talking about somebody, you can also use their title of La Señora Black no es cómica. So you're saying Mrs. Black isn't funny, okay? So, using that title out of respect. However, a little bit different when you're speaking about a person and you're using their title like Mr. or Mrs. Notice up top here when you're talking to them, you just say señor. But when you're talking about them, you put an article in front of them, okay? In front of the señora, señora. So example for if you're talking about, again, Señora Black, if you're talking to her, you would just say Señora Black no es cómica, you're not funny. But if you're talking about her, you'd say la señora. So el doctor, la señorita, etc. So those are the difference between when you're talking to somebody and when you're talking about them, okay? So again, when you're talking about them, you're going to put that article in front, okay? So let's go ahead and go to the next lesson. That's it for as far as what to do. So it says again, you're going to do the practice activity and check your answers. And remember that if you're talking about them, you're going to use the L or la in front of their title, okay? Then you're going to do a little assessment. So for the assessment, it is a voice activity, okay? And you're basically going to tell how, if you're going to talk to your teacher and you're talking to him or her, what would you say to say Mr. Santiago? Good evening or hello or, good afternoon or whatever it is, Mr. Santiago. Then, you're talking about here, you're talking about Miss or Mrs. Lopez, okay? So you're going to go through, decide would it be señora or señorita. You're going to talk about whether or not it would be, señor, etc. And then you need to decide if you're talking about them or if you're talking to them, whether or not you're going to put that article in there, okay? That is the only assessment for this lesson.